fresh dish for So You Think You Can Dance. Top 18 are dancing.
Top 18, wow. Woo. It was just like a week ago, it was the top 20.
I know. Patterns, right?
Yeah, yeah, and 2 tappers are gone. Bianca
and Phillip. Farewell.
So sad. So sad to see them both go. And you know what? I find this to be somewhat of a conspiracy. You know why? Because Bianca's got fans from like 3 seasons worth. So if there would have been like an actual voting where you call a number, I'm sure with the fan base that she has, she would have been safe.
I know, they need to stop this whole first 2 weeks the judges decide who goes. Put it in our hands.
Yes, please.
She's worked too hard for this. Now she has to have a whole new plan for next year and her whole life.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But hey guys, thanks so much for tuning in. And also, just so you know, The Fresh Dish is going to bring you some awesome interviews coming up. Who do we have coming up?
We have Courtney Galliano from season 4 of So You Think You Can Dance. And you know what? Don't forget to check out our Dance with the Stars interviews too, because we have Cheryl Burke coming up this Friday, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Now, before we get started with the dancers, one thing that they asked them to do was to name what their best and worst, you know, feature or attribute was of their partner, right? So we decided we should do the same thing, because we're partners, right?
We did?
Yeah.
Are you only going to say my best?
Well, I was going to start with your best, but then, yeah, I was going to give your worst.
Okay, okay, throw it at me.
All right, so here it goes. So Tami's best attribute or feature is that she is completely dedicated in everything she does, okay? No matter what the obstacle is in front of her, she is determined to get it done no matter what.
Thanks, Ernie.
Hey, no problem. Hey. Now, her worst one, can I say that?
Can I say your best before you tell me my worst?
Yeah, go for it, go for it.
I need to prepare for this.
Uh-oh, here we go.
I think your best is your expertise, right? You really know the dances, and you really bring that to the table. If I have a question, I can ask you about anything.
That's right, because that's why I do the Ask Ernie segment.
That's right. And you're funny, too. I'll throw that out there.
Oh, all right. Well, your worst attribute is that, for some odd reason, you're always late. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you need to fix your clock. I don't know if it's because you're in traffic a million times, you know, out of 1,000,001. But yeah, this girl is always late.
Not always. Does 10:05, when you're going to be here at 10, count as late? When you're a woman, you have to get up, you have to do your hair, you have to do your makeup, you have to travel 40 minutes to get somewhere.
Right.
Does that count?
Wake up 5 minutes earlier. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll work on that.
There you go.
Okay, do you want to hear Ernie's worst?
Yeah, give it to me.
For one, you're always stealing my jokes, so stop it.
Okay.
And I have 2. Could you please come with pants on to the set?
Never, never. I prefer shorts.
Well, you know what? Yeah, the hairy legs. Yeah, let's put some pants on.
All right,
Just
there.
kidding. That was fun.
We did it, yes. So now let's get started with Noelle and Russell. They did a hip-hop routine that was a death match.
Yes, Noelle is back and in full force.
Yeah,
taking it to the courts.
Yeah, it was really great to see her back, you know?
I have mixed reviews on this hip hop.
Okay.
Because I was kind of watching Noelle the whole time because I got caught up. It took me back to my high school days. It kind of reminded me that she was doing like a high school drill team hip hop performance. Yeah. Because the Jamal, he's the new choreographer, right? He was working with Miley Cyrus, and I think he kind of carried that over to So You Think You Can Dance.
Got it, got it. Yeah, well, I mean, I kind of appreciated that short skirt. You know what I mean? It was kind of cool. And tennis in general, that is my sport. So I was like, hey, this is kind of fun and entertaining. The only problem with me was the introduction of the prop, which was the tennis racket. Because you got to remember, when you bring in a prop, now it is an extension of you as a dancer. So it's just as important when you stop that racket, like you stop your hand, that you do it like together. So it looked really sloppy to me, and to me it didn't really have any pros because there were too many cons. You know what I mean?
Well, this is an example of the expertise that I was talking about because you are an expert tennis player.
That's correct.
So this is probably the bad routine to start off with because he is going to be judging you extra hard.
Yes, got to work on that backhand, guys. Got to work on that backhand.
Okay, Ashleigh and Jakob.
Yes, they did a waltz.
Yes, a Viennese waltz. I can now say it. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
Not a Vietnamese waltz.
Yeah, not a Vietnamese waltz. And you know what? At the beginning, you know, Mary was right. It did look like a wedding cake. Or I don't know if it was Mary that said it or Nigel, but it did look like a wedding cake, and it was like so pretty to look at, you know, and both of them are very, very, I think, skilled dancers. They look great. But to me, there was just too much, it felt like too much dance in it. And the only way I can describe it, I'm really sorry, the only way I can describe it is that you look at a beautiful painting, but you kind of know it's an oil painting because everything's like painted within the lines. You know what I mean? It looks great, but you can see that it's like, I don't know, like it just seemed that it was like mastered in segments. So it didn't really flow to me, that's all.
And if this is your first time watching us, I promise we are not Debbie Downers all the time.
Not
right?
all the time, not all the time.
But with our expertise, sometimes we just have to tell it like it is.
There you go.
So even with the song Adolescence, like that didn't draw you in?
No.
Oh, I loved it. I thought they did a really great job. Well, first they started with the kiss, so that kind of started with the emotion.
Right.
And then they carried that through. It was beautifully danced. I loved it.
Okay.
I just wish she was kissing Ryan, your husband.
Yeah, you know what? That is kind of uncomfortable to watch sometimes. I don't know. Is a kiss really just a kiss?
Is it, Ernie?
I don't know. Every kiss begins with K. That's what I know. Now, let's move on to Victor and Bianca, okay? Because they did my favorite type of dance, which is Broadway. And I'm thinking, like, this is going to be amazing. And we got Tice in there in the house. He's choreographing this thing. And I watched it, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, another expert area for you, right?
Yeah, you know, color purple. I mean, there's a lot of emotion. I mean, you know, the judges really nailed it. You're really supposed to lose yourself in this piece, you know? I mean, really just let emotions just take over. And I really felt like Bianca did a better job at that than Victor did. But in the end, Bianca was the one that
I know.
got cut.
I appreciate it because I love the color purple. So it was fun just to have something familiar that I know of, to have them dance to it. But I have a little problem because all the judges start attacking these two, saying that they needed to put more energy into it, they needed to make it over the top, it wasn't enough, and don't blame the choreographer. What? They spend all week with the choreographer. I think it's the choreographer's responsibility to tell them, hey, no, this is not how I see you dancing. Like, I want you to take it to the next level. This is my vision for you, too.
Right.
That's their responsibility. Don't put it on Victor and Bianca.
Okay. We'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree.
And we'll agree on the next one, I know for sure.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mollee and Nathan.